مدد المدد يا الله اسقينا بالمدد يا الله.
وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد، فنسأل الله عز وجل بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العلى أن يجعلنا وإياكم من المستمعين للقول والمتبعين أحسنه، وأن يجعل ما نقوله ونسمعه حجة لنا ولا علينا يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today showed me that He is King and that I have nothing to say and nothing to decide. I thought it was warm weather, and so I wear these quite large pants, and I had my shirt over it, and I thought I'm going to teach like this. And then I stopped somewhere to buy some fresh orange juice in a nice bottle, and I was driving. While I was driving, I opened the bottle, and then I held the cap of the bottle, and I saw that it started dripping. So I said, okay, you shouldn't do this. Normally you should drive with your both hands on the steering. But I didn't. So I was going like this, and I said, Ya Rabbi, inshallah, it will not fall on my pants. I said, it won't drip on my pants. So I took away the cap, and then I turned the steering a little bit, and then it came all on my pants. So I had to wear this, which I find quite warm now. So I understood that, subhanAllah, these things, what? No, it's okay. So I understood that sometimes things happen, if we disconnect them from Allah, they will drive you crazy. You will say, oh no, what's going on? Why these pants? I want to, So this is when you disconnect it from Allah. And so at first, as I am a human being, and I'm not from these great, examples of the mu'mineen, of the Sahaba and everything, I don't say I started insulting and these kind of things, I didn't do that. But I said, okay, Ya Rabbi, I understand. You see? And this is when you read a book about spirituality, or you attend a class about spiritual things, then things will happen in your life. Once I gave a course about dream interpretation. It's a book I've written which is called the Fiqh of Dream Interpretation. And I have taught this course. All of a sudden, so many students started having dreams, me included. So when you talk about something or you attend classes, things will happen in your life. And these things that will be happening in your life throughout the course about the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, connect them to Allah. Try to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is connecting to you through His names. Is that clear? So anyway, I can go home and with these pans full of orange juice. And on the other hand, subhanAllah, Allah is a Razzaq. Everything that I spilled on my trousers wasn't my risk. You see? I said, oh look, I'm going to drink all of this. This is how I felt. The sun is shining, the wind is caressing my face while I'm driving through the open window. Orange juice, here I am. And then orange juice said, there I go. So you don't even decide over how much you will drink. You can now say, but Sheikh, if you were just to stop on a hard shoulder, for example, or a parking space, then this wouldn't have happened. Yes, it would have. Why? Because if it's not your risk, it's not your risk, whatever you do. Then then maybe I would have knocked it over and it would still be on my pants because my pants needed to be full of orange juice, you see? So the risk is also something, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showing us, you want to eat something, all of a sudden, it falls out of your hand on a dirty surface. Well, it was not your risk, you see? So don't disconnect these kind of things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I said, if you disconnect that which happens in your life from Allah, you will feel all alone. You will feel that you are overpowered by bad luck. Everything, nothing which I do works. How for a week I've been looking, for example, to arrive at a certain place to find a parking space. For a week, every time I arrive, no parking space. At the end you're going to say, why always me? I never find a parking space. Well, even that is risk. everything you receive, everything which is given to you is rizq. And then it is for the person to react in an appropriate way. Okay, so let us start today, bi'idhnillahi azza wa jal. We are going to finish the names of majesty, the names of kingdom. And one of these names that we have spoken about last time was Al-Malik. We said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-King and Al-Malik, the possessor. Because not everybody with power has the authority, and not everybody with authority to rule has power. You see? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the power and has the authority. So now some of the other names which have to do with Al-Malik subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Muqsit. Al-Muqsit Al-Adl. Al-Muqsit, it's with a ta and with a sin. Al-Muqsit and Al-Adl. Al-Adl is he who is just. And Al-Muqsit is he who does everything correctly without giving any what? Advantage to anybody thanks to his or her religion or color or nationality. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being Al-Adl, he who is just, will only judge his servants on the day of judgment as being the king in harmony with their own deeds. So when we come back Yawm al-Qiyamah to Allah Jalla wa Ala, there is nothing he will judge apart from that which we show him of our deeds. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. Read your book, today you suffice as a witness against yourself. So you now are actually the pen, and the world you are living on is your book. You are writing. So what are you writing? Everybody's thinking about writing a book. Like Stephen King writes about 4 books a year, for example, but they don't release them all 4. And that's a lot, 4 books a year. So people think, I can't finish my book. You are writing your book. And your book will be finished for you. He will close the book for you, exactly as he opened it for you. So while you are writing, you are seeing what you can expect. So this is why it is funny to see that people say, I don't know when I go back to Allah, I don't know what to expect. Well, look at your life. 1 + 1 is 2. Look at your life. Look at your words. These are the ones you will read in front of him. These are the ones you will be judged by. Look at your deeds, your thoughts, your wants, your needs, your passions, that what you are yearning for. So all of these things and nothing else you will find in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that clear? كُلَّ إِنسَانٍ أَلْزَمْنَاهُ طَائِرَهُ فِي عُنُقِهِ وَنُخْرِجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كِتَابًا يَلْقَاهُ مَنْشُورًا. Yani everybody has his book in his neck. And on the day of judgment, when you come out of your grave, Allah will open that book for you. So Al-Adl subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will not add anything to your book, any bad deed to your book, and will not remove one good deed from your book. This is Al-Adl. And this is why people say, if Allah punishes us, He punishes us with Adl, with justice. And if He forgives us with Fadl. Naam, by His what? Fadl. How do you say Fadl? Bounty and grace. Naam. So this is very important. So Al-Adl, we are not afraid of Allah for being Allah. We are in awe for Allah. Naam, being in awe because He's majestic, He's powerful, He's beautiful. We are in awe. But the fear we have is for Allah's adl, meaning that we are afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rule over us and judge us on the day of judgment in harmony with our deeds. This is what we fear. You see? Because Allah Jalla wa Ala won't wrong anybody. وَمَا أَنَا بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. I do not wrong my servants. لَا ظُلْمَ الْيَوْمِ, says Allah. Today there is no what? What? Injustice. لا ظلم اليوم. Today there is no injustice. So we are going back to Al-Hakam Al-Adl, Al-Malik Al-Malik Al-Adl. Allah the one being just. So now when you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just, you should also know that Allah doesn't always judge in your favor. He's just. And when we don't look at fiqh and we go by our emotions, we always think that we are right. This is the human being. Without fiqh, with your emotion, in every argument, you are right. Whenever you disagree, you are right. Others are wrong. When you go by fiqh, sometimes you will be wrong. Because then you ask the adl, the just, subhanahu wa ta'ala, to judge over you. And this is why we as Muslims, the only way that we can establish adl between us is through fiqh. That's the only way. And I mentioned this last time. The only way that we can establish justice amongst us and making sure that not we nor others are being oppressed by falsehood or false rulings or false emotions is fiqh. There is adl in fiqh. And there is fadl in fiqh. Like in Islam, when someone kills your family member, murders, not kills, murders, you have a right. Either the life of the murderer being taken, or either you not taking his life, not you yourself as an individual, it goes through court and through the qadi. We don't have the law of the jungle in Islam. So when you come home, and may Allah preserve all of us, Ameen, and someone murdered your children, then you don't have the right to go out and look for him and kill him. You need to go to the judge. Otherwise, there will be chaos on the face of the earth, which is not the same. When you come home and somebody's killing someone, tries to kill someone from your family, you're not going to call the qadi. Then you have the right to stand up for your right. Okay? So, and then even then the ulama say, if you can stop this person without killing him, then this gets priority. Because it's the qadi who decides over life in the light of what? Of this fiqh. So anyway, so now you have adl, you say justice, you say I want his life to be taken. Because how many people today, they are suffering while the murderer and rapist of their 3-year-old daughter is living a 20-year sentence in prison watching movies and being provided for, and I'm talking about Belgium, I don't know how it is in England, and being provided for through my tax money that I pay every month. So there I am paying taxes, and a part of it, maybe it's not that part, but as a whole, there you go, murderer, rapist, take some food, watch a movie, learn some new tricks of the game, so that when you come out, you can do it again. So this is the feeling a lot of people have. So no, they are being punished for as long as this murderer and rapist is inside of the prison walls, enjoying, between brackets, his life. So Islam knew that it is a torture for the family of the victims, so they gave him within a certain framework. We're not talking today in the framework we are in. So they gave them within this framework either the choice for adl, that the life of the murderer be taken, or fadl. They leave him alive and they ask money in exchange. You see? So this is what it means to have adl and fadl. Is that clear? So in fiqh there is adl, and from an ethical point of view there is fadl. You know, you can, from an ethical point of view, okay, so I forgive you, I don't want it back. You took my money, I hope it's a lesson for you, I'm not going to ask it back. And this the ulama say, if this person were to learn from it. If the person says, yes, now I can do it with somebody else, give my money back. You see? So anyway, to come back, on the day of judgment, when you go back to Allah Jalla wa Ala, you will find either adl or fadl. Adl or fadl. Now the question which arises very often is, where is the adl in people being punished eternally? Where's the adl? Yani in hereafter, people say there's no rahmah in punishing someone eternally, for eternity. So now our ulama of aqidah, they say, look, and I'm going to give you an example. If you were to have committed a crime, let us say that we all live 1,000 years. We have a life of 1,000 years, like the people in the time of Nuh alayhi salam. And you have committed a terrible crime, you go to the qadi, and the qadi says, okay, how do you say that? your punishment? No, your sentence. Your sentence is that you have to remain in a room 3 meters on 2 meters for 1,000 years. You have no window. You only eat bread. You drink water. No family visits at all during 900 years. Okay? That's the sentence. You are sent to prison, and then when you arrive in prison, all of a sudden, you see it's a room as big as this one. You have many windows. You have Wi-Fi. You have your family being allowed to visit you whenever they want. You have everything, and a bed. And so now, even though you are in a prison, you are within these walls, confined between these walls, nevertheless, it looks like rahmah, doesn't it? Because your original punishment was that little small room without windows, without anything. And then after 100 years, all of a sudden, your room turns into that small room. But you still have windows. You still have your family visiting you. You're still eating 5-star restaurant food. And after 200 years, all of a sudden, you only have bread and water. But all this time, I was actually being in the rahmah, isn't it? Because I got more than I should actually receive from the good things. So my punishment was not in harmony with the sentence. Is this clear? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts us, inshallah not us, in hellfire, then actually what we deserve is there, but we start here. We will never be punished as much as we should have been punished. So even in hellfire, the punishment, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا نَزِيدَكُمْ إِلَّا عَذَابًا. The only thing we increase you with, says Allah about the people of Jahannam, is punishment. We will increase you in punishment. But this increasing in punishment is never more than the sentence you were given. So all that time, actually, you are still living in the rahmah, in the divine mercy, although you are being punished. Is this clear? So this is the way that we look at it. So now al-Adl subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only the one that is just in subhanallah in his rulings, but they say al-Adl is also the one that created everything with the right proportions, correct proportions. Remember last time when we spoke about the giraffe, right? Did we speak about the giraffe? What did I say, Khayyam?
For it to stay upright, it's easy for it to go down.
Exactly. For it to stay upright, it's easy, and to go down, it is difficult due to the muscles. Then we spoke about the elephant not having a neck, but having instead of it, right? So now, even if you look at the proportions of the human being and the way that everything was placed, we have our eyes here and our nose here and our mouth here. We look at our food, we bring it to our mouth, it smells it. Is it okay? Is it rotten? Is it off? Is it bad? No, it's giving us information. We see, we smell, we eat. Now, if the nose was here and the mouth was there, we wouldn't smell our food. We wouldn't know if it's bad or good. If our eyes were be like the eyes of a camel, which are on the side, it's not in front. The scholar said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Don't they look at the camel in the way she has been created? This is al-Adl, meaning in right proportions. Because one, the eyes of a camel are here. Because when a desert storm comes, a camel doesn't need to stop. She can just go on, no problem. And she has these long eyelashes that protect her from the sun. It goes like this. So even when the sun is there, it doesn't bother her at all. She can find water from a distance of more than 100 kilometers. She knows where to find it, no problem. Her eyesight is in such a way that she sees you 10 times bigger than you are. Because if not, a camel is very strong. You can't control a camel. Apart from in 2 ways. One, because Allah made you appear bigger than her 10 times. And 2, because her nose is very sensitive. So you put a ring through the nose. The minor thing you do, she feels it immediately and she follows you. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said, like, ta'ahadul Qur'an. Keep on holding on to the Qur'an by revising it, because she escapes much quicker than a camel does. Yani when you remove the ring and she doesn't see you, she's gone. And this is why you see that these small children who do these camel races, they just walk with the camel. The camel is so strong, Ya Rabbi. So another thing is, she has like a harness. You know, when you look at her belly, there is a harness so that when she lies down, she doesn't feel the heat. There she is. She doesn't drink, you know, with many sips. She drinks it in one time, one sip, like this. So that, you know, like when you go to fill your car, you know, same thing, up in one go, and there she is. So now, if you're going to look at this camel, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Adl, meaning that every creature has been created in harmony with its environment. And this is the very proof that someone intended this animal to live in that environment. And this is al-Adl subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you look at the way that a jaguar, for example, when it's in its natural environment, you just don't see it. Then they say, like, the human being is the only creature which has been given power over fire. And let us say light today, but fire. Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ النَّارَ الَّتِي تُورُونَ. Now, don't you have a look at the fire that you light? Yeah, you light the fire. Why? One, because the human being doesn't eat raw meat to start with. Yani meaning, you know, usually they cook their meat or they barbecue their meat. And when you look at our teeth and you look at our tongue, you see that they were not created to eat raw meat. But look at the tongue of a cat, for example. It's very rough. Look at its teeth. It's made to, you know, to tear it apart. The same thing, a human being is in need of fire or light, because during the night we can't see. Nocturnal animals, they do. They see during the night. So all of a sudden, their eyes become reflective, right? You see their eyes and you say, oh, what's going on? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that they just need a fraction, a small amount of light for them to transform into their eyes a new eyesight which allows them to see clearly. Also, the animals living in cold environments, they have the right, what? Fur or skin or whatever that protects them against what? Against bitter cold. The human being doesn't. So he's in need to warm himself. So he was given fire as well. A human being, very strangely, they sit happily ever after around a campfire. Let's tell some stories about the Sahaba, you know, and it attracts them. So they come and let us talk with a nice little warm tea. But when the, you know, ferocious animals see this fire, they run away. And we are weaker than these animals, so we had to protect ourselves. So this is fire as well. All of this is al-Adl. The one who has created everything perfectly in harmony with its needs and its wants. Is that clear? So this is ajib. And like this, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah azza wa jal, in his book, Dar Miftah al-Sa'ada, yani it's in 3 volumes. It's the best version is the one with the tahqiq of Shaykh al-Halabi. Anyway, so you need to have a look at this. Miftah Dar al-Sa'ada of Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, where he talks throughout the book like this. Then look at this, look at that. And Fakhruddin Razi rahimahullah says in his tafsir, when talking about al-Adl subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says, look at the sky is blue. It's you know, it's good for the eye. Then the grass is what? Grass is green. And the sun is yellow. And the night is black. He says, now imagine these colors to be mixed up. Grass is black. Sun is green. Or the grass is blue, the sun is green and the sky is red, whatever. So it doesn't, you know, you would go crazy. There are psychologists who do research for the effect of colors on the human being. This is a part of marketing psychology as well, to look at this. So when you look at fast food restaurants, it's always red and yellow and orange, and music is much louder so that you wouldn't stay too long. So these colors make you kind of aggressive and restless. So they everything, even the colors, like how are we choosing, Ya Rabbi? How are we choosing not our milk, our orange juice? How are we choosing it? It's all oranges. Okay, we look at the pictures, and these pictures are drawn, photoshopped and everything. But we look at the picture, oh, that looks nice. This orange juice looks better. It's just oranges. You see? So in everything we see, we see that people are using these colors or misusing in a certain way these colors to make money. And Allah chose the best of colors for us to find our rest. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something very beautiful. And He says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا. And we have beautified, for whom? For us, the sky of the dunya. SubhanAllah, Allah has made it beautiful. So now to come back, al-Adl subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we said to start with, is the one who will only judge us by what? By what we have done. He can either treat us with His Adl or with His Fadl. And then we said al-Adl is not only in His rulings, but also in the way He has created, everything in the correct and right proportions. Like your eyebrows, for example. They are so beneficial, Ya Rabb. Like when your eyebrows in Arabic are called hajiban. And you hear the word hijab in it, right? It's because your eyebrow yahjubu, yani puts a veil between sweat and your eyes. When you sweat, your eyebrows stop this sweat from dripping into your eyes. And that hurts. It's very salty. So it comes into your eyes. I had a brother, not a blood brother, an akhi, and he had a disease. He didn't have any hair. He didn't have any hair. So he didn't have eyebrows. He always had to wear his cap like this, till here. You see this? Like this, until he was about here. I asked him, why do you do this? He said, because I don't have eyebrows. He said, and then if I sweat, it's hot, I sweat, it drips into my eyes and then I can't see. We just don't seem to be seeing all of these things. We got so used to these things that we take them for granted. We just take them for granted. SubhanAllah, our nails, SubhanAllah, our teeth stop growing. They stop growing. First they're small, and then they're big. And ajib, they grow in harmony with the needs of the child. At the very beginning, it's not in need of teeth. Then secondly, it doesn't know how to chew because it's not ready to chew food. So it just needs the front teeth to take something, to grab something, but it can't chew. Then when it's ready to chew food, you will find other teeth. So it's biological growth, if I can say it like this, or evolution, is showing us what it is in need of. First it's liquid, then it's this, then it's that. And also its teeth are small because its mouth is small. Imagine how, immediately teeth of an adult and you have this baby, it will look very strange, wouldn't it? So now it loses its teeth, now because it's growing, and there you go, you got your new, teeth. Not all at once, woof, gone. First this one, and that one, then this one, then that one. Subhanallah, ajib. This is al-Adl. This is al-Adl, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you see teeth are growing, but they stop. Nails, they don't stop growing because we need them all the time. Teeth too, but they are strong. Our nails, we need them. If your nails are too short, you can see how much you are in need of your nails. If you cut all of your nails too short, you want to pick something up, you can't. You go like, try to pick up your bank card or anything, you can't. You want to scratch with the tips of your fingers, it doesn't help. You can't, you're doing like this, doesn't go away. And so many other different things that you do with your nails. So every time we get new nails because they are worn out And then there you go, you got some new ones. Thank you, Rabbi. And you go again, thank you, Rabbi. SubhanAllah. And cutting your nails doesn't hurt. Taking out your teeth does. Imagine now, and they're from the same kind of structure. So imagine now that cutting your nails would be as painful as removing your teeth. Then for cutting your nails, you would have to go to hospital. What are you going to do today? Well, I have an appointment with the doctor. I'm going to cut my nails. There they are with Baxters and everything laying down just for their nails to be cut. There would be traffic jams. SubhanAllah, there would be so many new hospitals. People would be making money. Cutting your nails would be very expensive. True or not? But it's the same material, your teeth and in this here. So why does this stop growing and this doesn't? I didn't do it. Al-Adl. You see? And this is why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about al-khalq, He says, Ya ayyuhal insanu, ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. O human being, what distracted you from your generous Lord? Alladhi khalaqaka fasawwaka fa'adalak. What distracted you from your generous Lord? The one that created you, khalaqaka fasawwaka, in correct proportions, and then fa'adalak. He created you with adl. This is what we are talking about. The width of your arms is the length of your body. From here to here is the length of your body. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there are exceptions of course, right? But usually it's like that. So you see, everything is just beautiful. Everything is beautiful. SubhanAllah, it's ajib. Allah. Okay, good. So we can go on like this, so we don't want to do this. Also our sight, al-Adl. Look, I now see this tea. If there is something in my tea, do I see it, yes or no? Yes and no. I see that which harms me, I don't see that which doesn't harm me. Meaning, if there's a little fly in it, or a little wasp, or a bee, or a piece of wood, I go like this, take it out. Okay? But now there are so many things here, bacteria and everything which I don't see. If Allah were to have given me a sight, a microscopical sight, then I would see all these little tiny beings herein and I wouldn't drink anymore. It would be like, oh, no, thank you. See them jumping around, smiling at me, no, thank you. So even this is adl. This is adl, that I see everything in harmony with my need, not in harmony with reality. Because there are many realities within reality. When I take my microscope or I take my telescope, all of a sudden I see a world which was unseen to me. And this is why we also believe in the world of the unseen. We weren't given the strength, our eyes were not given the strength to see the unseen. Exactly as my eyes were not given the strength to see these bacteria. Exactly as my eyes were not given the strength to see what? To see the stars farthest away from the earth. And the unseen exists, is around us now. But our eyes were not given the power, the strength to see it. And this is why when Abu Hanifa rahimahullah was asked by people, show us God if God exists. He says, come tomorrow with Dahr. So they came with Salat al-Dhuhr. And he told them, look at the sun. So they said, sorry, I can't. They look at the sun and they went like this because it was Dhuhr in the desert. You can't look at the sun. He says, look, you have asked me to see the Creator. If you're not even able and strong enough to look at the light of creation, how do you want me to show you the light of the Creator? Done. The same thing, if I write now on a piece of paper, I write something, whatever it may be, and I hold it here. If you're very close, you will see what it is. If I'm a bit further away, you might not be able to read it, but you will see that there's something on it. Then when I go 50 meters away, you will see a white piece of something, but you won't see the writing on it. You will just think it's entirely white. So you not seeing it doesn't mean it isn't there. Is that clear? This is even with creation. I write on a piece of paper 30 meters away from you. You see a white paper, you don't see anything written on it. It's not even visible. It's just white. So it's not because you can't see it that it's not there. If you can't see it, it's not due to it, but it's due to you. Now, so that's the same with al-Ghayb. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is al-Adl and didn't allow us to see al-Ghayb for many reasons. One is because it's a test. And two, imagine me now talking to you, seeing your two angels writing. And all of a sudden I see the one on your left writing. I say, what's going on? So you see, I see them writing. Then I see your qareen. Qareen's your shaitan who's always with you whispering. And I see him whispering, I see him go like this. He keeps, and then all of a sudden I look outside and I see the souls of the deceased just flying through the air with the angels. Taking the good souls and they go to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the bad souls and they just throw them back into their graves. And what if you were to hear them as well? It would be terrible. So alhamdulillah, this is al-Adl. Life, while seeing the unseen creatures, would make life impossible. You see? And also, al-Adl is the one that gives us, our moment in time without knowing what is about to happen. Otherwise, people might not enjoy things. If I would have known that my orange juice would be spilled over my trousers this morning, half of it, then I probably wouldn't have enjoyed my orange juice. I would say, just leave it because I'm going to spill it anyway. So the adl is, no, you live according to what you know, not according to what I know. That's al-adl as well. Because otherwise, if you know that so many things, that you're going on a journey and you don't know that you're going to lose your passport on the last day of your journey. If you were to know it on the first day of your journey, your 7 days of holiday will be worries. Oh, I'm going to lose my passport. Oh no, it's not true. I'm going to... Imagine, it's 7 days, you can't enjoy your moment in time. But now you don't know, so you're enjoying, yes, alhamdulillah, mashallah, good day, mashallah, today, last day, alhamdulillah. Even that last day, until the very second where you come to the conclusion that you lost your passport, you're happy. Like just 1 second before, yes, mashallah, we're going back, we're going to see our granny again, yes. Where's my passport? You see this? So you were happy. So if we were to know everything which would happen, we couldn't be able to enjoy our moments. So this is al-Adl. He gave us everything in correct proportions and in harmony with our needs, in harmony with our wants, and so much more. Is it clear what the name al-Adl stands for? Okay, so it's not only in his hukam, but also in his khalq. So Adl is not only in the rulings, but also in his creation. Okay. Are there any questions about what I've said? No? You're sure? It will help me. Yes.
Thinking about it in terms of Jamali and Jalali, I always thought of Adl, I think Jalali, the way that you mentioned it is very Jamal.
It's Jamal.
It's Jamal.
Yes, for me it is Jamal. Because it might sound strange, but Allah's Adl is more preferred. I prefer Allah's Adl both above people's fadl. I prefer justice of people above bounty of human beings. Why? When you're in the clemency or bounty of people, 1, they can change their mind. 2, they can turn against you. 3, one day they might remind you of what they've done for you. Now, remember when I did this and that and that? There's nothing as filthy as to hearing people who were good to you turning into people mentioning what they have done for you. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذَى. A good word and a forgiving word, like somebody asking you for help. You say a good word, I'm sorry I can't. I'm sorry it's a bit difficult for me. Now, is better than sadaqah, giving away in charity, and following it up with what? With evil, yani harming people, reminding them of the good you have done for them. And especially also for husbands or for wives, we are not allowed to do this. Like for example, your wife tells you, oh, I would like to have a new bag, from Moschino or whatever. I would like, a brand, bag, for example. What? Asda? What's Asda? I know what it is. Well, if people don't specify it, well, true, yeah. So for you, and I give you like the small car. So now to come back. So let's say somebody wants something, like either the husband or the wife, and then you say, and then all of a sudden you say, but no, today we can't remember last time, and the person means it sincerely, and the other person says, you never, every time, whenever I ask you something, you say no. Now your nafs comes up and you're going to remind her of every time you said yes. Every time I ask you to visit this and that, you say no. You say, no, 13th of August, 1920. So you have a list of everything you did. And I did this and then that. And so you're saying even more. The person was just asking about visiting. And I bought you this and I bought you that. Boom, 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 boom. What goes here, what happens is that all of your hasanat are gone. Gone. You're scrolling them away. I did this for you, gone. That for you, gone. That's a problem, isn't it? So that's where the nafs comes up. Do you know that the Prophet ﷺ never used to say no? Whenever it was within his possibility, he would not say no. And even when it was not within his power, he wouldn't say no. He would say, I will see. And then he would do. So it's not like Khayyam saying like, okay, we'll see. No. When he said we'll see, he would see. And this is why Khadija radiallahu anha, you never did that with me, right? So when Khadija radiallahu anha, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam came back, when he saw Jibreel, one of the things she said was, and whenever people ask you for something which you yourself don't have, you nevertheless make it possible for them to have it. Yani meaning that if you would come to me, I would come to you, Khayyam, and I would say, do you have some milk for me, please? And you don't have milk, and you don't have money to buy milk, you would go, borrow some money or lend some money, buy milk, give me the milk, and then monthly pay that person until you paid the milk. This is what the Prophet ﷺ used to do. Okay? So now to come back, what I said is I prefer Allah's Adl. I know when I go back to Allah, I won't only find good things. Everybody comes back to Allah with sins. But I know that if Allah were to punish me for my sins, that I won't feel bad about the fact that He's punishing me, knowing that I deserve it. There's nothing more difficult upon a human being being accused falsely or being punished for something he didn't do. So at least the punishment then will be physical, but it won't be emotional, meaning I have been wronged. So now human beings, when they do good for you, very often they break your heart afterwards. Very often. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said in the Jami of Imam Suyuti, love your beloved one moderately, because one day he can turn into your enemy. And love your enemy or hate your enemy moderately, because maybe one day he will be your beloved one. So moderately means through fiqh, not through emotions. Even the one who wrongs us, we are going to give his right. He has a right over us, then we will give it. Even though it might hurt on the inside, we don't care. Fiqh is higher than our emotions. That's the most difficult thing. It's a Muslim and mu'min. This is why Allah called them mu'mineen. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. Now, is there somebody else memorizing Quran so I can include you as well? No? Okay. Allah says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Yani, by your Lord I do swear, they are no true believers until they take you, Muhammad, as a judge over their affairs. So Allah included Iman here and called the people who do this mu'minun. Now, I mean, it is far more difficult to stick to fiqh when everything in yourself is against it, but you stick to it, than praying during the night and fasting on Monday and on Thursday. Some people think being pious is just that part. The most difficult part in being pious is submitting yourself to fiqh when the ruling is not in your favor. This is why Allah said they don't truly believe until they take you as a judge over their affairs. فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ, yani their disputes. And then ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ. And then they don't find any rebellion or obstruction within their hearts against that which you have decided. وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. And they submit themselves entirely. That are the true mu'minun. And today, as I always say, as we don't have fiqh, we just don't know. So many things which were maybe even in our advantage, and that the person in front of us said, okay, I believe you're right, I listen to your argument, it's for you. Maybe according to the fiqh, it was for him. But you just know how to talk very nicely and smoothly, so now all of a sudden, even that person thinks that you are on the haqq. But you are on the batil according to the fiqh. You understand? So al-Adl and al-Fadl, we need to go by al-Adl. So now, another thing in Adl is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't got any preferences when it comes down to truth. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it very clear. He said, if Fatima radiallahu anha would steal, I would be the one applying the what? The had. How do you say had? The punishment. Okay. So he made very clear, even though it is my daughter, it's not because she's my daughter that she would escape from that punishment. You see? So now, very important, when you believe in Allah being al-Adl, who hasn't got these preferences, we should have the same thing with our children. And that's the most difficult thing. Imagine you're playing in a park and you have a boy 6 years old and your son is 4. The boy of 6 years old is always is like next to your child, and all of a sudden your child comes back and you see that its face is full of sand, and there is sand in its mouth. It comes back running to you and says, Daddy, Mommy, that big boy just hit me and put sand in my mouth. You're boiling now. Where is that shaitan? And then my child doesn't lie. You know that one? My child doesn't lie. My child always speaks the truth. So now the other parent comes and says, what is happening? Yes, your son, he's 6 years old, he's bigger than my child, which is obvious. You need to watch out, over your child when it plays with smaller children. And they said, I'm sorry, but my child doesn't do these kind of things. Yeah, neither does mine. My child never lies. So what are we doing now? We are going by Adl. We are going to ask. We are going to investigate. We are not going to judge in the favor of our children just because it is our child. We don't do this. We are Muslims. We don't care with whom the haqq is. We want the haqq to be established. So even if it is against my child, well, then I submit, because submitting to the truth is submitting to Allah. Of course, emotionally, it's normal that you're involved. It's your child. But you will not overrule fiqh with your emotions. So you're going to ask, say, Habibi, is it true? And very often when you keep on asking, especially when you tell your children that you won't be angry if they tell the truth. But then don't betray them. Like say, Habibi, just tell daddy. Just tell mama. We won't be angry when you tell the truth. We like the truth. No, mama, I did. Just tell me, Allah loves people who tell the truth. I did it. Poof! So, what did you tell your child now? To never ever tell the truth again. So, what are you going to do when it says, yes, I've done it? You say, I'm so proud of you that you have spoken the truth. And for this, I will reward you. But I have to punish you for the child you spoke ill about or your evil deeds. Is that clear? So yes, you're going to punish it. So next time when you ask for an ice cream, the first time, I'm not going to give it to you. Look at this. So next time when it asks for an ice cream, he says, remember back in the park when you spoke the truth? He says, yes. Do you remember I said that you were not going to receive an ice cream? If you educate your child like this, it will work with aql and not with emotions, even when it's very small. And then it will say, yes, Daddy, I remember. He said, well, this is that time. And don't come back on your words. Because if you do, it will never take you seriously. Now, and then when you leave the park and you see that your child has actually submitted itself to this ruling and it doesn't complain and it says, yes, you are right, you promised me, you told me this. And you go away with your child, you let it play a little bit, say, come now, do you remember that I said that I was going to reward you as well? And it will say, yes. He says, well, I'm going to give you 2 ice creams today. So just with an extra, thing on it on top, not 2. So anyway, so a little extra. So now you have taught it that the reward for being good is bigger than the reward for being bad. You have taught it to speak the truth, that that doing evil will be punished and speaking the truth will be what will be rewarded. But the problem is because we want life so cool, we want to enjoy our free moments when we have children. Like, when does the child stop being a child? That's what we're actually saying. As long as this toddler is walking around or your children are in need of you, well, you have chosen to be the parent, they didn't choose to be the child. So when they're there, they're there. So you don't have a free moment. You don't have a moment where you can say, now stop being my child. It doesn't work. When they sleep. So when they sleep, that's it. So, and that's why we want, I'm sorry about hammering all the time on the same thing, but social media is taking away a lot of our time. So then we go to the park and we want to scroll over Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, and then our child comes next to us, it wants us attention because all the week it's at school. Just go and play. I told you go to play. So we are not even educating the children. Why? Because we want fake time. This is fake time, it's not true time. So let go a bit of this. Do you know that a study said that parents look more on their screen than in the face of their child? I read a study of 2 years ago. Parents look more on their screen than they look into the eyes of their children. That's ajib, isn't it? It's ajib. So this is the way of parenting today. So and then because you want your free time, you just put anything on television. Give them a tablet when you stroll, when you walk around. I'm in shock. Children 3 years old, in their pram, we say pram, right? They're on their tablets. Where is family time? Nothing. You are killing its eyes, killing its brain. Do you know that a child, when it watches television, burns less calories than what? Than when it's asleep. Like meaning, they say when it watches television, it doesn't burn anything at all. And they're in zombie modus. Sleep modus, zombie modus, whatever. So they said that watching television for children is bad for their health. It's even bad for their health, for their heart, for everything. So let's go back to times where children climb in trees, where people go out and play, where they play football, hide and seek, and all these other things. That were good times. And when my grandparents used to say, back in the days that were good times, I said, I'm never going to say this. And I'm really saying it, guys. Go back. Back was better. Okay. Al-Adl. So what we are doing, barakallahu fikum, we are saying that we are not going to rule in the advantage of someone because that someone is beloved to me. Even if it were to be your own wife or your own husband. Your wife comes back. Yes. And I don't know, that woman said so and so and such and such. I don't want you to see her husband anymore. Now it's done. I mean, who does she think she is? What are you going to do now? Well, you're going to listen to your wife, which is normal. You're going to give her advice. But based on what she said, you can't judge that other person. Because your wife, exactly as the other wife, can be wrong. Or your husband can be wrong. But you can say, I will not see that person anymore because you want to have peace in your home. But you're not going to judge the person, because judging is always in need of hearing, listening to two people. So al-Adl, that's the last thing I say before the break. Al-Adl is what? Al-Adl is that you judge with the truth, even if it were to be against yourself, even against your own self. And the example I'm going to give is about a man who went to send money for someone through Western Union, a poor family in Africa. And he went with that person and he said, I'm going to send some money for your poor family. So he went to send $1,000. When he came there, he said, okay, that's $1,000 and you can deduct the costs to send the money. The person next to him said, no, you promised to send $1,000. Can you imagine? You, out of your own will, you say, I'm going to send $1,000 to your family. And the moment you want to send it, you're going to send 925 because the costs are 75. This person next to you says, no. You told that you would send my family 1,000, not 925. How would you feel? Honestly. How would you feel? Do you guys get the example? Is the example clear? Okay, so you are doing a favor and this person is complaining. Well, this person is right. Because you said, I will send 1,000. And maybe he told his family back there that 1,000 would be sent. So they made choices in their lives built on that $1,000. So emotionally, I'm saying, shouldn't you say thank you? Shouldn't you be grateful? Who do you think you are? I'm never going to help you again. But fiqh is telling you, you made a promise, keep your promise. That's fiqh and that's emotion. And now what the problem is, when this person said, yes, actually, this person was trying to be a good Muslim. He said, actually, you are right. I should send 1,000. So I will send 1,000. Can you help me with the costs? He said, it's not my responsibility. I said, but it's for your mother. He said, you were going to send it, not me. This is still fiqh. There's nothing bad, nothing evil. So now he said, Naam, again, you are right. He said, if you knew that I was right, why did you try to escape from your promise? Nafs is being torn apart. And then this person said, I'm sorry, you are right. And this person went away and said, yes, I was right. Is it good to behave like that person? No. That's not good. But has he done something haram? No. Was he right in what he was saying? Yes. Was I wrong? Not I, this person that I'm pretending to be. Was I wrong in only sending 925 while I was saying 1,000? Yes. Because I made a promise. This is adl. And that's the most difficult thing. Because very often when we help people, we do something for them, we expect them to understand that we don't live up to what we have promised. You say, I'm going to help you move from 9 to 5 today. That person goes and says, it's 3:30, my children need me a little bit, I'm gone. Now this person says, that person can be happy because I helped him from 9 to 3:30. But you promised until 5. So I have the right to feel bad that you went an hour and a half early. Is that clear for everybody? Yes? Okay. So yes.
Can I just ask one question? So if Allah does everything according to, our fiqh should be determined by Adl. What about the person who's on the receiving end when that injustice happens? So
That person.
yeah. And what if because there's no qadi and there's no judge amongst us now, so that person might think that he wasn't wrong, your example was correct. So he goes back thinking that the wrong thing was actually acceptable. And when you live with this injustice...
This person was right.
Yeah.
That person was actually wrong, even though he was doing good. So this...
He goes back feeling very confused, that he was upset with me.
Well, this one goes away, but he should be taught to have ethics and norms and a good behavior. Because behavior-wise, this was very bad. But we are talking about the fiqh, about the adl on my side. His behavior was very weak. That there was no brotherhood, there was no empathy, there was no rahmah, there was no gratitude. But fiqh has got nothing to do with these emotions. You see, fiqh is not about this gratitude and about this, acknowledging someone's good. It's just about facts. And the fact was that I made a promise that I had to hold on to. And he was right in that way, and he was wrong in another way. Okay? Inshallah, we have a break of 10 minutes, and then we come back. Bi-idhnillah.